name is Christopher. I am an artist, graphic designer, game designer, and world builder. Basically, I am a creative technologist. Most of it is my dad's fault, I think. I remember when I was 2 or 3 and my dad bought a copy of Red Baron 2 for us to play together. He'd let me paint up a plane and fly it around, and from then on, I was hooked. He was never a very artistic person himself. He was always on the technical side of things. So I think he spurred me on to do what I do today just because he was just as curious and fascinated as I was. In 2011, I finally decided to move from drawing on paper to drawing on the computer. I started on and still use GIMP to do so, but by 2012 I had stopped taking art classes. Mostly because I tend to come up with wild or stupid ideas that art classes just wouldn't let me do. We always did studies or worked under strict limits, and I just didn't think that was what art was meant to be. And since then I've been teaching myself to draw better, and while I'm still not as good as I'd like to be, I like to believe that I'm far better off than if I'd stayed in classes. Up until I started my BCT, I tried to draw every time I had an idea, which worked most of the time. I also drew things that other people wanted to draw but couldn't. Not for money or favors, but just because it gave me motivation to keep going. Professionally speaking, I fell under the title of graphic design, since I was always going around and making people logos or drawing website assets. Everything and anything that I could find and do. I sort of wanted to go into graphic design as a career, but even back then, I knew that job pickings were perpetually slim. Eventually I found Colab at AUT, and naturally, as a first-year student, I walked in with no idea what was happening. Back then I thought it was just another computer science class, or a fine arts class that specialized in computer work. And all the lecturers came out and talked about free-form projects and ideals over techniques, and I just thought, I am so glad I found this course. Outside of artwork, I also practice world building. That is, creating a universe for a story to exist in, rather than a simple isolated backstory. I've been subconsciously doing it longer than I've known English, and I've literally started doing it in my sleep. Of course, there's always plans for how to implement that world into something, and with the emphasis on video games and animation that Colab exudes, the course is just my window.